Should I use a recruiter is another question that I got. And this brings me back to a story I have about my younger brother who recently found a new job through help from his older brother, me, after waiting for months to call me to tell me he was looking for a new job. And and one of the things he asked me about was I'm dealing with this recruiter or these recruiters, and I said, tell me what's going on. And he gave me some information, and it became very clear to me that he was being he was holding back from telling the recruiter certain things. What should I tell him I make? I tell him what you make. I mean, all this stuff is going to come out in the wash if you get to the end and you get an offer anyway. You're probably going to have to fill out paperwork and all this other stuff. Recruiters, yeah, you should use a recruiter if you can find a good one. There aren't very many. I am one, and I can say that because there are no barriers to entry to become a recruiter. If you can talk on the telephone, you can become a recruiter. And so that's probably part of it. The way we get paid is part of it too. I don't get paid if I'm placing you in a permanent job until you start working and stay there for a period of time, 30, 60, 90 days. It's called a guarantee period. And then I get paid. So if I don't find you the right job that you don't even want to stick around and do for more than 90 days, all of that time I spent is wasted. So what does that mean in terms of working with a recruiter? Just understand how they're paid so that you understand how they're motivated. And you should know as much about them as they know about you. A lot of us, I've found, a lot of people will talk to a recruiter very briefly because the recruiter contacts them and says, I have an opportunity for you. And they just send their resume and they really don't know what kind of relationship the recruiter has with the client. They don't know if they're a junior recruiter or a senior recruiter. They don't know if they specialize in your particular craft or they're just a generalist. And so you're giving your reputation to someone that you don't know anything about. And frankly, if you're working in a particular geographic market and you give your resume to a handful of recruiters without qualifying them and asking them how they do what they do and what they're going to do with your reputation and your resume, then you're running the risk of your reputation being tarnished. And the other possibility is two recruiters send your resume to the same potential employer. Most employers step back and say, I'm not going to get into an argument about who gets the fee, so I'm just not going to talk to this candidate. So this is all going on behind the scenes, and no one's telling you this stuff. And again, I could talk, there's a lot of nuance in how to deal with a recruiter. There's a lot. And so it's not for this forum, but those things there is, again, you have a couple of really key points there. And one is know them as well as they know you, and don't just send your resume to anybody. Okay. More is not better. My brother had said to me, well, I didn't call you because you don't do healthcare and you don't do Nashville, Tennessee. And I smiled and over the phone and I said, 95% of what I do has nothing to do with either one of those things. And I picked up the phone and I called the guy who used to work for me, who relocated his family to Nashville and was a recruiter. And he was a technical recruiter, but he had a relationship with the head of human resources at a large insurance company, healthcare company. And within 3 weeks, my brother had a better job for more money and didn't have to relocate his family back to Connecticut to headquarters. So, that was my brother. He knows exactly what I do. Yet he set out to look for work like everyone does because he just thought that was the way to do it. And then I shared some of this stuff on how to work with recruiters, and he had 4 or 5 epiphanies on the phone call with me. So, ask for help and understand how recruiters get paid, understand how that motivates them on your behalf, and do your homework. Get to know them before you just give them your reputation.